Free will. It's like butterfly wings. Once touched, they never get off the ground. No, only I set the stage. You pull your own strings. On October 30th, 1997, I was born. And in other words, on that day, I gained my own free will. This quote that I started off with comes from one of the most popular movies at this time, known as The Devil's Advocate, starring Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves. Today, I will be talking about different things that happened in the month of October in the year of 1997. Some other popular movies during this time were Boogie Nights and I Know What You Did Last Summer. A couple fun facts about October 1997. The most popular Halloween costumes were Batman and Catwoman. During the time of Halloween in 1997, many people were listening to the song Something About the Way You Look Tonight by Elton John. Also, during this time, if you were watching TV, you could have been watching the popular show known as Sleepwalkers. In October of 1997, our president was Bill Clinton, and our vice president was Al Gore. During this time, the cost of a new home was around $176,000. Also during this time, the median income for a household was around $37,000 a year. Also during the month of October in 1997, the cost of a first-class stamp was around 32 cents. And at this time, the cost of a gallon of gas was around $1.23. And the cost of a dozen eggs was around $1.17. During this time, when Bill Clinton was president, he did some interesting things. On October 9th of 1997, President Clinton signed the National Wildlife Refuge System Improvement Act of 1997. And this act amends the National Wildlife Refuge System Administration Act of 1966, and in a manner that provides an organic act for the refuge system. For almost a century, the 95 million acre National Wildlife Refuge System had been managed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service under a variety of laws that was gone without an organic act. So basically during this time they had no organization. And in 1997, when this bill was passed, it ensures that the refuge system is managed as a national system of related lands, waters, and interests for the protection and conservation of our nation's wildlife resources. Also in October 28, 1997, President Clinton welcomes President Jiang Zemin from China for a state visit. Also in October of 1997, October 31st on Halloween, President Clinton orders the United States government to contribute $3 billion to an international bailout of Indonesia, totaling over $22 billion. The Clinton administration argues that the bailout will help stabilize the shaky financial system in Southeast Asia. Aside from politics, in science, during October of 1997, on October 15th, 1997, a 7-year journey to the ringed planet Saturn begun with a missile known as Cassini. And this spacecraft had a 2.2 billion mile journey. It started in 1997 and it arrived in Saturn on June 30th, 2004. So Cassini completed its 4-year primary mission in 2008. The spacecraft has beamed back to Earth hundreds of gigabytes of data, and it enabled the publication of over 3,000 scientific reports. Overall, the science mission was a success. In other news, the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has decided to award the 1997 Nobel Prize in Chemistry, one half to Paul D. Bauer and the other half to John E. Walker for their contribution of the study of ATP, known as andesine triphosphate. And the other half of the Nobel Prize goes to Professor Jens C. Skow from Denmark for discovering an ion transporting enzyme. For those of you who don't know, ATP, also known as andesine triphosphate, is a complex organic chemical that provides energy to drive many processes in living cells, in muscle contractions, in nerve impulses, and chemical synthesis. ATP is found in all forms of life and is often referred to as the molecular unit of currency. Moving away from science, moving on to a couple bad things that happened in the month of October in 1997. On October 9th, 1997, Hurricane Pauline hit Acapulco, Mexico, and 109 people were reported dead. On October 12th, 1997, singer-songwriter John Denver died in a plane crash. And John Denver was famous for his popular songs Rocky Mountain High or Take Me Home Country Road. And the National Transportation Safety Board has determined today that the popular entertainer John Denver fatally crashed his experimental aircraft into Monterey Bay after his attention during his flight was diverted in his attempt to switch fuel tanks. He died when he was 53 years old. On October 25th, 1997, in Denver, Colorado, it was hit with one of the worst blizzards ever, totaling up from anywhere from 14 to 31 inches of snow. Multiple highways were closed. The Denver airport was closed. There was 120 cars stranded on the side of the road. The snowstorm was just unbelievable. Overall, 4 people and thousands of cattle died as a result of the severe conditions during this blizzard. And places such as Coal Creek Canyon and Silver Spruce Ranch got upwards of 50 inches of snow. So overall, in October of 1997, some good things happened and some not so good things happened. In science, we discovered things from Saturn. We learned about ATP, which is found in all living things. And we even moved towards saving our national wildlife resources. On the other hand, we lost a couple famous musicians, and a couple people had to endure some pretty bad disasters, such as a hurricane or a blizzard. October of 1997 was my first year on Earth, and I'm glad I was able to share some things about that special time. Thank you.
That's good.